Hi, I'm Sabne Raznik, and this is another one of my mini readings here on YouTube. I'm currently reading poems from my upcoming collection, Rabbit Hole, which will be available in April of 2017. And the poems are the book. Rabbit Hole is basically what the title suggests. We are going to go down a rabbit hole with language. And the whole idea marries the found poem with Gertrude Stein, so there are non-poetic texts that these are sourced from, most of them, and those are referenced in notes in the back in case you want to check to see just how deconstructed some of the poems are, or you're just curious where they came from, or whatever. I just thought it would be a good thing to do to help you see just how far down the rabbit hole some of them actually go versus not so far with others. The collection basically plays on the idea that language has lost significance, lost meaning in a concrete sense. Kind of like how at the beginning of the 20th century there was the whole idea of numerality, where sin no longer existed, and well, you just do what feels good to you and you'll be good. But that's kind of what's happening with language. It no longer really matters what it's meant to mean. People just say what they want, or it's not so much that they say what they want, but they just apply whatever meaning they want to what they've heard. And so it's very difficult to get accurate information and accurate thought process about things, because there is no baseline standard for what something can mean. And this is a real phenomenon that is happening in the global culture today. And so the collection plays on that, but it's meant to be, because the artist is a witness to their times. And as Bono once said, artists chase the zeitgeist like dogs chase cars. So basically this collection is chasing the current zeitgeist, or the zeitgeist that is in the act of being developed right now. But it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be fun. Just like Alice in Wonderland is dark. I'm sure you've read it. It's a dark book, but it's been adapted into over and over again into movies for children, even though it's such a dark book. And so you have this baseline of a very serious concept, but I hope, at least in its execution, that it is fun, because that's the goal. Some of the poems, like I said, are more deconstructed than others and more extreme than others. The one I'm going to read for you right now is called Made of Words, and it is taken from the Blaney lecture. I'm not exactly sure on the year, I think maybe 2013, the one that Carolyn Forche gave about poetry of witness. I know that's not very clear. The notes, though, the notes section in the book is very clear about where this came from. I'm just not pulling it all up in my head right now to be clear, but it was definitely the Blaney lecture, and it was Carolyn Forche who gave it, if that's how you properly say her last name. I've never heard it said. I'll just admit that on the internet. Why not? Anyway, I took that lecture, which is very interesting in and of itself to read, and turned it into this. Made of Words. Tripoli had not yet been an international poetry reading. Bullet-ridden walls welcomed us warmly. Translated into Arabic, thumbs up and peace signs. Hold your heads up, El Salvador, don't worry. AK rifle fire as a form of applause. Poetry reading conferred normalcy in human, giving birth to itself. Hanoi and Hugh, Boston led the effort. Invited, quietly looked the other way. Confiscated from corpses, most of it was poetry. The bridge between two countries made of words. Ann Arbor students wasn't telling the truth. Peaceful fields of the former, it will never be over. A ghosted language, darker human suffering, fatwa issued in Berlin by Dow Václav Havel, beheld the spectacle. Don't know how to put morality ahead of hope, obvious responsibility of the world. Soviet Empire vicissitudes mark or trace of teaching, absorbed me, experienced scarcely a poet's sins, came not much of a surprise, expresses gratitude for the hours. Poetry begins in a not knowing, this spark without intention or conscience. Poets and artists are conversant with centuries. So that's definitely one of the not so deconstructed ones. It actually you can pull some meaning out of that. Some of them, it's just about what happens when language becomes noise. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that, and maybe I'll put up another mini reading soon. Thank you for watching.